You're listening to Brandon Sports Talk, interviewing professional athletes and Paralympians and Olympians. And now for your professional athlete interview and your host, Brandon P.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode of the privileged interview, the Canada Paralympian para snowboarder Lisa DeJong. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in competing in snowboarding?
Yeah, I've always been a pretty competitive person. I grew up skiing and then snowboarding, and I used to do races at my local hill when I was younger. And I've always enjoyed it. And when I found out there was a para snowboard team, I knew it was something I wanted to do.
How was it like getting started in snowboarding with having a background in skiing?
I found it kind of tricky switching over to snowboarding when I was 12. It definitely took me quite a while to get the hang of snowboarding. I remember finding it really frustrating trying to get up because I was so used to just getting on skis and being able to go down the hill.
How was it feeling like when you made the national team for the Paralympic snowboarding?
Making the national team was such a amazing feeling. I hadn't been on the team for very long, so to be able to make it onto the national team, it was kind of unexpected to make it on as quick as I did, so it was pretty exciting.
How was it like training for the World Para Snowboard Snow Sports?
Training for the World Para Snow Sports was pretty intensive. We had a lot of training camps, and it was a pretty steep learning curve for me being so new to the program. I have always snowboarded recreationally, but getting to the level where I needed to get to be competitive on the world circuit was definitely a lot of work and a lot of patience from my coaches as well.
How was that feeling like making the Paralympic team for the first time in your para snowboarding career?
Making the Paralympic team was unbelievable. It was also something that I didn't know if I was going to make this go around for Beijing because I was so new to the team and I didn't have a lot of experience or proven results before the games. So it was a pretty awesome and exciting when I got that phone call to find out that I was going to be going to Beijing.
Of course, when you got that phone call that you made the Paralympic team, what was going through your head and how did you prepare for your moment in Beijing?
Mainly just excitement. To be to be offered a spot on the Paralympic team was just such an honor and such an exciting thing. So I was just really excited to go, and I guess also just a little bit nervous wanting to do really well when I got there as well, and just trying to kind of downplay the pressure, I guess, and keep myself in a good headspace.
Of course, leading up to that, what was that feeling like receiving your Paralympic gear and having the Paralympic symbols on your gear?
Receiving the gear was really exciting. We got most of our gear when we were at one of our World Cup races, the last one of the season in Big White, BC, Canada, which was a pretty awesome place to get it. We had all just done really well in the races there. I had got my first gold medal for World Cup races, so to get our Paralympic gear while we were there was just like pretty symbolic and pretty exciting to see the Canadian flag and the Paralympic symbol on the clothes. It made it feel so real that we were actually going, because up until then it didn't feel real, like we were actually going to China and actually going to the games.
How is it like competing in the Para Americans?
Competing was pretty exciting to get to see everyone and to get to compete against all these other awesome riders was very exciting.
What was that feeling like, obviously getting to compete with teams like US, China, and even different countries?
Getting to see all the other countries was really, really cool, especially being a para athlete, because I was just so interested in everyone else's adaptive equipment. Everyone has kind of their own little tips and tricks, and snowboarding is still such a new Paralympic sport that seeing how everyone else kind of does things and tries to accommodate for their disability is was so interesting, how all the different countries kind of have different ideas on how to do things.
How is that like, getting to be in the Paralympic Village and getting to meet different people from different countries during your time?
Getting to stay in the Paralympic Village was a really cool experience. Yeah, to have that time to actually get to interact with all the athletes from all over the world and also in multiple disciplines was such a cool experience. I really enjoyed getting to talk with everyone and getting to know a little bit about other people's cultures and seeing how it kind of brought us all together in our sport was it was just a really cool experience.
How's that feeling like the first time you got to put on the gear and have the Paralympic symbols on your gear?
Putting on the gear for the first time was just such an exciting feeling, knowing that that's what we're going to be wearing, competing and walking around the village, and especially trying on the podium gear was just like, it gave me shivers to know that we're representing Canada and that's what we're going to be wearing. Yeah, when we're kind of out there showing the world what we can do.
At Beijing, what was it like going down the slopes of Beijing and competing?
Going down the slopes of Beijing was um it was really, really interesting to be. I remember our first day out on the slopes, and I'm just like, we're out here snowboarding in China. Like, how crazy is this? It was pretty unbelievable, especially that they were able to make all the snow on those mountains, because the region we were in, there wasn't really any natural snow. So the whole experience was just like, just really, really interesting.
Growing up, before you got into the Paralympics, did you ever dream that you would make it to the Paralympics at the biggest stage?
No, I never did. Because snowboarding is still such a new sport that as a kid it wasn't really even a path available at that time. So no, as a kid I would say not. I knew I loved snowboarding, and I guess you could say I grew up dreaming about snowboarding and wanting to get as good as I could be, but I never really knew there was a end path to that.
At Beijing, what was it like when you received a silver medal and you got to put that around your neck?
Receiving the silver medal at the Paralympic Games was definitely emotional, and I just felt so proud to be there and to be making history for Canada as the first um, Paralympic athlete to receive a medal at the Games for snowboarding. So it was just absolutely amazing, and to hear the Canadian anthem playing and to see the crowd, it was definitely an experience I will never forget.
Of course, for you, how does that feel to know that you're now in the record books for being the first Paralympian snowboarder to receive a medal at the Paralympic Games?
It makes me feel really proud and just really, really thankful and privileged that I was able to go there and do that and get the first medal for Canada. Yeah, it's pretty special to have won the first medal for the Paralympic snowboard. And yeah, I'll definitely always remember that.
Putting it around your neck, how is that feeling like knowing that all of your hard work for that year's paid off?
Putting the medal around my neck, it definitely made me happy that I put the amount of work and time in that I did. I mean, for the 3 years leading up to the games, I lived and breathed snowboarding. And if I wasn't on the snow, I was off snow doing strength and conditioning training or on a trampoline, getting better aerial awareness on a tramp board. And yeah, to see it all come together like that was just a pretty amazing gift.
What were your training like leading up to the Paralympics?
Leading up to the Paralympics, our training was it was pretty hectic. We were all over Europe racing, and if we weren't racing, then we were in Canada trying to train up at Sunshine. And yeah, we were just trying to be as ready as we could be, and trying to trying to train and be ready for any scenario so that we would be comfortable with whatever they would throw at us with the course design in China.
At the Paralympics, what was the feeling like when you got to put on your gear and you had the Canada Maple Leaf flag on you, along with the Argoness symbol?
Putting on the gear, it just felt so amazing to be a part of the Paralympics and to be there for Canada. And it definitely felt like it was just really unifying seeing all the other Canadians there in the different events and all of us wearing this gear. And I think we all just felt so proud to be there doing our part and representing Canada.
How is it like obviously having other countries like US and Mexico there competing alongside of you?
Having other countries there competing was really an awesome experience. We're all kind of like one big family now after spending the whole season racing together. And especially with COVID, all of us have had to kind of be in a bubble or in a bubble with each other. So I think it brought everyone a lot closer too. And it's just a really special time getting together with everyone. And everyone's just so proud of each other's accomplishments that it's a really it's a really unique setting that is just awesome to see how everyone wants to see everyone else do well. And yeah, getting together with everyone is pretty special.
Of course, in your first season, what has it been like obviously knowing that you made it to the Paralympics? And what was that feeling like standing next to the symbols?
It was really cool. Getting to stand next to the symbols and it being my first Paralympics was just like I was just overwhelmed with gratitude that I was able to be there and hopefully inspire other people that are watching to go pursue their dreams too, and to see that nothing can hold you back from the things you want to do, and maybe you're going to do them a little different than other people, that you can go out and do some really great things.
How does it feel to have Paralympian behind your name and add PLY behind your last name?
To have Paralympian and to be able to use the PLY is it makes me so proud to have put into the work and to make it to the games and to compete in them and to win a medal in them. Um, it's just I'm so proud to be associated with the Paralympics.
What does it mean to be a para snowboarder to represent Canada?
To be a para snowboarder representing Canada, to me, it's it's a symbol of dedication and hard work and inclusivity and um, just really celebrating what people of different abilities can do and to see what everyone out there is doing and accomplishing and just to see everybody working together, it's absolutely amazing.
How is it feeling like getting to sign autographs and having people ask for your autographs and add PLY behind it?
Having people ask for autographs was pretty shocking. I mean, to kind of become an overnight celebrity is definitely it takes some getting used to, but it's an awesome experience. And yeah, it feels really cool for people to be that excited as well about what I've accomplished. And it makes me really happy and really amped up to see other people so excited as well with how things turned out.
Of course, after the Paralympics, how has it been like obviously getting to meet your fans and having them take photos with you and even see the silver medal?
I absolutely love getting to meet with fans and bringing my medal to show off to people. I love that they can kind of get excited and be a part of the celebration, and I love that they can hold it and take pictures with the medal. And yeah, it brings back a little piece of the Paralympics for everyone to enjoy. And I love seeing people's faces light up and to see them so excited to see the medal and to hear about the experiences that I had.
What was that feeling like receiving your Paralympic ring and having the Canada maple leaf flag along with the Argonaut symbols on it?
Receiving my Paralympic ring was a really exciting time. Because of COVID, it wasn't the normal ceremony where we would receive it. It came in the mail, but it was still really special to open up that package and to see the ring that I get to wear for the rest of my life, and to have that as a symbol of competing in the games and doing what I did was really special.
What were some of your game day routines and rituals like at the Paralympics?
Some of my pregame rituals, the biggest one was probably having some good music to amp me up. I found having a little dance party in my room before games or practices really got my energy up and put me in a good headspace, because we were over there for 22 days. So it'd be pretty easy, even with all the excitement of being over there, to kind of wake up and have days where you're just missing home and maybe letting the pressure get to you. So to put on some good music and dance around always got me in the right mindset before leaving my condo for the day.
What were some of your favorite memories and moments at the Paralympics leading into competing?
Some of my favorite memories and moments would definitely start with the plane ride over. We had Air Canada sponsor the flight. So to have just athletes and coaches and support staff on this flight over to China was such a neat experience. The flight attendants were so awesome, and they just had all this food for us, and everyone was so happy, and everyone's just visiting and getting to know each other on the plane. And yeah, to have this whole plane to ourselves was definitely a very unique and special thing to have.
Who were some of the people that you met that you were like, oh my God, I'm meeting you for the first time, looking up to you?
Some of the people I would say definitely cross country skiers, McKeever, to meet him. I mean, he's done such amazing things. So to see him was really, really cool. That the cross country skiers, or the Nordic and the downhill skiers, where were the ones that we had in our village. Unfortunately, um, all the other sports were right in Beijing, so we didn't get a chance to meet a lot of the other athletes. But yeah, it was definitely cool to see all of the skiers in person that I've kind of been following.
Being the first time being a Paralympian and competing, who were some of the people that you have had mentor you and to teach you the ways of obviously competing?
I'd say the biggest mentors would be my coaches and my teammate Sandrine, who was kind of the veteran on the team before I came along. And also on the US side, Brenna Huckabee and Britt, they were really awesome when I first came on the scene and kind of took me under their wings. So everyone everyone was just so awesome and supportive when I came on the scene, which was really kind of surprising, I thought, coming from other sport backgrounds to see. And I just found that really awesome how welcoming everybody was.
How's it been like obviously competing next to some of your teammates like Alex, Curtis, and Michelle?
Competing next to my teammates is definitely fun experience for all of us, where we feel way more like we're a team than it's an individual sport. And it's funny because sometimes I have to remind myself that yes, I am competing against them, but when we train together all the time, they like everyone just becomes like family. So when it comes down to it, I think I'm almost as excited for how well other people are doing than I am for myself, just because we have such a family like feel to all the training we've done together.
Who are some of the most influential people in your career that have shaped you into the Paralympian snowboarder that you are today?
The most influential people in my career, like I said, it would definitely be Amy Purdy and Michelle Salt, which were the ladies that I saw competing on social media, how I even realized that parasnowboarding was a discipline.
Of course, what has that been like, obviously competing next to Amy?
Well, I didn't get to compete next to Amy, unfortunately, but she's been a big influence in my career just watching her compete.
What are some of your future plans in the sport of parasnowboarding?
Some of my future plans are to just keep growing the sport. I'm really passionate about getting more people involved, especially in Canada. I want it to become more well known than it is, so that people out there who are wanting to get into snowboarding or already are in love with snowboarding know the opportunities that are available for them.
What is the feeling like getting to compete at the biggest stage and living out your Paralympic dream?
It's unbelievable, I would say. To not know if I would even qualify for the Paralympics, and then on top of that to bring home a silver medal. It was definitely all very, very unexpected, but very, very exciting.
What advice would you give those people that are in college that are looking to compete in parasnowboarding?
The advice I would give people would be to get in contact with Canada Snowboard. There's awesome resources available. We have amazing coaches, and there's a lot of cool things being done right now to bring more grassroots programs into parasports. So it's a great time to reach out and get involved in the programs.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to represent a national team, whether it's Canada or US parasnowboarding?
I would tell those people just to reach out to either their US or Canada bodies and figure out what your next steps can be. If snowboarding is something that they love and they're wanting to push it further, then there's lots of resources out there, and it's definitely an amazing sport to pursue.
What advice would you give those people, such as yourself, that were competing in the Paralympics for the first time or even multiple times?
The biggest piece of advice I would give people is, well, what worked for me anyways, is to keep it fun and keep it light. For myself, I found if the pressure started creeping up, that's when my performance would start to decrease. And I always said, if you're not having fun, then why are you there? So for me, that was always the number one. And to try and keep that in perspective definitely helped me perform at my best.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
So I can be found on Facebook and Instagram, both at Lisa DeJong _12.
Thank you again, Lisa DeJong, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as a Canada Paralympian para snowboarder.
Thank you very much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Lisa DeJong, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.